What's up, everybody? I just wanted to come on here and do a little video and kind of explain that puppy video. Been getting a lot of questions about it and stuff, and I wasn't going to tell the story, but uh, I think it's kind of pertinent. So as you guys know, I was on a recent trip. They sent me to, when I say they, my work, sent me to DC, and I took a cab to West Virginia, picked up a rig for the VA hospital, and drove it back to Arizona. And that's why I had all those hotel rooms. And I stopped in, one stop was Indianapolis, Indiana. I got some cool video coming up about that. And then the next stop was Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then Albuquerque. But when I was in Tulsa, every time I pulled into the hotel, if there was light left, I went out and did some little video for you guys in case you guys haven't been to the town and stuff. And right outside my room, if you saw the video, there's a really nice like grassy area outside with a little water feature and stuff. So I went down there to film some video, and uh-oh, here comes the monsoon. And so I was down there, and I found some artwork, so I was getting film about that. And then all of a sudden to the right, I saw a homeless guy who had a puppy, and it's the puppy in the picture in the little video that I posted. Well, I talked to him for a little bit, and I tend to like talk to homeless people a lot, I guess, especially while I'm traveling. And I just kind of connected with him. He's an ex-Marine, and just chatted a little bit and played with this pup for a second. And then I went back to my hotel room, and I kept looking out the window and seeing him down there with the puppy, and I felt so bad, man. He was such a good dude. Puppy was adorable. He didn't have anything with him. He said it had all gotten ruined in the rainstorm that had just happened there. So I had stopped at Buc-ee's and got some chopped brisket sandwiches. I got like 3 or 4 of them because I was going to have one a day on my trip. And I thought, I'm going to go offer him a couple of the sandwiches and some water. So I went down there and did that. And I don't post this kind of stuff on YouTube because I don't like posting stuff of people who are in need. I saw this one post one time. It was like, can you imagine needing something so bad that somebody records you giving you something, and kind of capitalizing off their situation. So I just don't like doing that. I just like connecting with people and trying to be a good person, So I went down there and I gave him the brisket sandwiches, and he was super thankful. He pulled out meat right away and gave it to the puppy before he even took his first bite. Sorry for the wind. So I might have to move if it gets too much worse. I don't want to make it too bad so you guys can't hear me. So anyway, I turn around. In our conversation, he tells me that the second time I went down, took him a sandwich, he told me that he just found out he's in stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he could die any day, basically. And so I was walking back to the hotel room, and something made me turn around, and I went back and I said, hey, please don't be offended by the question I'm about to ask you. And he's like, okay. And I was like, do you want me to take your puppy or, care for it or anything? And he kind of got emotional and said he thought about it when I was giving him the sandwich because he felt like I was a good person. And then he found out I was in the military too, and he just, like I said, we really connected. And I told him, I was like, hey, can you keep him safe overnight? And he said, yeah. And I was like, okay, if you decide you want me to take him, I'll be at that rig over there at 9 o'clock in the morning taking off. And if he's there, I'll even give him some money. And so I went back to the hotel room, and I was just really, really sad. Like, I was really emotional. I just really felt connected to the guy for some reason. I kept looking out my window and watching him lay there, and so finally, I went to bed and I woke up and I looked out there and he wasn't there. So I was worried about him, of course, and I packed up my stuff and headed down to the rig. And as I was loading stuff in, I saw him come walking up. And I was like, "Hey, you made it." And he goes, "Yeah, I didn't think I was going to make it." And he said that he's not able to control his bowels or his bladder because of his cancer. It just kind of he does what he wants. And unfortunately, he has to wear diapers because of it. And so he had to go get a clean diaper, and he didn't think he was going to make it back in time. And he said that, if he made it back, it was like a sign, So we talked a little bit more, and he handed me the puppy and got very emotional and was hugging him and kissing him, and he handed him over to me, and I pulled out the money that I had in my wallet. It was like $100, and I gave it to him. Gave him a hug and stuff, and he was very grateful, and we had another conversation. We probably talked about 2 hours total the night before and the morning of. And I said, I'm going to ask you another question. Please don't feel obligated to answer or offended. My intentions are not to pry. And I was like, would you like some help? Because I'll do whatever I can to help you, to get you comfortable or whatever. Or are you ready to go? And he just looked at me with kind of like an assured look, but watery-eyed, and said, "I'm ready to go." He's like, "I've had a hard life." And I said, "Well, I hope you can see the beauty that you've had in your life." And he said, "Oh man, you have no idea." He's like, "I've had an amazing life and an amazingly rough life as well." I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of the yin and yang of it, isn't it?" He goes, "Yeah." And he asked me my name. I said, "Jason," but I go by Happy is what everybody calls me. And he just started bawling. Whew. And he said, "I knew this was right. So he handed me the pup, and I took off and brought the puppy back. So now I got a puppy, and hopefully I can give it a good life. And yeah, puppy did great. I smuggled him into my next hotel. Had a good time. You'll see some video coming up that I'm going to post of him. And brought him back, and he got taken to the vet and checked out. So that's how I wound up with him. His name is Mo. I'm not going to say the guy's name that I met and got him from. Just, I don't want to, call him out or anything. But, I say a prayer for him every day. I hope you guys will as well. So right now we're just trying to let him get used to the other 2 pups that we found out in the desert. So now we have 3 puppies. But got a little thinking about him. So yeah, that's how I got the puppy. And hopefully everything goes well, and wish us luck with him. And that's the story of how I got Mo. Mo Money, Mofo, whatever. He's just Mo. He's gonna cost Mo money for sure. But thank you guys for watching this video. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, I hope that I come back in a year. I'm gonna make it a point to come back a year from today and see if you're still around. I hope you beat this, And he just looked at me. He goes, "I won't be here. But if you take it to the sheriff's office next to Salvation Army and show the puppy to them, they'll remember him, because I take him up there so they can see him." So yeah, that's it. That's how I got Mo. And hopefully you'll see more videos of him. Thank you guys. Yeah, buddy.